Hello, guys. Welcome back. This is episode 28 of Ladies First. I am your host, Amber Vickers. Oh, man. All American teams are here. Upsets happened. It's so refreshing to see upsets. As long as my picks don't get upset, I am a happy camper. I'm a happy camper. I'm still wearing my UK t shirt as promised for a whole month. This will probably be my last stream wearing it because my month will be up because I'm going on a vacation. But I'll get to that in a minute. But guys, March is such a beautiful month, isn't it? You got the trade deadline, which I would talk about the trade deadline, but they're going to do that on Count the Bucket on Saturday. Michael and Nick are. You got, you know, pushing for playoff basketball. You got pro days for the NCAA for football. So much goes on in March. March Madness takes up all my time. I haven't paid attention to NBA at all. I took a nap. I woke up and trades started happening. So Woj and Shams and Mark Stein and Chris Haynes, they all keep me on my toes. Brian Windhorst, Ramona Shelburne, all those people that cover the trades. I think Woj was in the middle of a segment on Scott Van Pelt, and he got a trade in the middle of it. So the NBA has vamped up, for about 16, 17 hours. It's just like boom, 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 boom. March Madness is here, a couple of days off, and then the women's and men's kick off again this weekend. I'm super excited. Make sure my headphones are working, but let me make sure everything's plugged in. But I have to say that I'm excited about this year's tournaments for multiple reasons, but we'll get into all of that. First, we're going to start with our sponsors. So I'm going to share some screens with you guys. I'm going to go through these sponsors, talk about All-Americans, and talk about some upsets as well. All right. teespring.com/stores/unwrapped. Get all your Unwrapped Sports Network gear here. Look at this, the OG tags. We got some new tags down there as well. Get all your gear here. A lot of LeBron James fans in Unwrapped Sports Network. A lot of Laker fans as well. All the live lineups have gear. The Hard Count, Prop Bros, Backstop Banter, who will be going on right after me. They're going to have a huge panel. You guys should check that out. Fights Unwrapped, Generation Z, Fourth Man Pod. They get some great guests on there. Shout out to Anthony. The People's XFL show. Of course, Ladies First. Show my mug off. Yes. Ladies First. Saturday Standouts. Business casual basketball with Aaron, who goes on before me. Keeping It Blunt, who goes on Wednesdays. So with Perry and Caleb. There's a lot of gear here, you guys. Go check that out. teesprings.com/stores/unwrapped. Also, we have RX Hemp. Use the code rxhemp.com/USN to get 10% off your order. Will be rxhemp/USN to get 10% off your order. All natural CBD products, warm and cool therapy. Look at the dosage, you guys. Pay attention to that. So you won't put too much on. If you don't feel the burn yet, trust me, guys, you will feel it. Celebrities have sworn by it. People are using it. People are getting out and running and working out. I'm going to work out after this video. So get you some CBD cream, rxhemp.com. Use the code rxhemp/USN to get 10% off of your entire order. And then we have, let's go. Oh boy, I know brackets have been busted. I know that. I wonder if anybody's still in the running for that $100,000 cash prize, but I think it moved to $50,000. Well, they have one for $50,000 on here now. So $10 entry can get you $50,000. I'm guessing these are the Sweet 16 picks. I would not participate in that because I just have no clue. Oregon State and, Sister Jean, Villanova and Baylor. It's going to be a good game. Oral Roberts and Arkansas. Shout out to Tulsa. There's some NBA picks as well on here. But there's a lot of things you can pick from, guys. A whole lot. The NIT is going on right now for the women's and men's. You got UFC. You got hockey. You got spring baseball. I think opening day is April 1st this year. Draft prospects. Oh my goodness. So anything you want to pick from, mybookie.ag, use the code USN100 to double your first deposit. All right, guys, last but not least, let's go ahead and tell you about the Patreon, shall we? Patreon.com/unwrapsports. $1 a month, you become a fan. $5 a month, you become part of the family. You get all these cool perks. $10 a month, you become VIP and get all these cool perks. This month is the David Montgomery jersey. Last month was Keenan Allen. I'm still waiting on my jersey. I don't know if Perry sent it or not. I have to text him. But it will be plastered on the back of my wall once I get it, to show you guys that I finally won something in a drawing. Pat myself on the back for that. So I know Garrett from Iowa wants that David Montgomery jersey. The Bears have been through enough. I think he deserves it just for being a Bears fan for these past couple of years alone. So guys, join the Patreon. Looks like we got a new, I think Kev, shout out to Kevy Kev. I think he joined the Patreon this week. So check that out, guys. Patreon.com/unwrapsports. Become a part of the family. Whew. All-American teams. Okay, now ESPN.com had theirs. Associated Press had theirs. So I am going to start with ESPN.com's All-American teams. These are for the women, guys. This is for the women. Ladies first. I always do my ladies first. Here we go. Here are the All-American teams for the women. Dana Evans from Louisville. We already knew that was going to happen. Shout out to Dana Evans. Her team is in the Sweet 16. We'll talk about that. Paige Buckets. I know that's not her last name, but that's what I call her. The 5'11" freshman from UConn. Alyssa Cunanan. Yes, I said her name right. NC State. They are in the Sweet 16, guys. She is a force down low. Now, Alyssa Smith from Baylor. We knew that was going to happen. She's very versatile. I love watching her play in the Big 12. And of course, Aaliyah Boston from South Carolina. These are all first-teamers, guys. The second-teamers are down below. She's a sophomore from South Carolina. Caitlin Clark, her and Paige are going to go at it in the Sweet 16. I cannot wait to watch that. She is a certified bucket getter. Kevin Durant posted it on Twitter. It's amazing to see men support women. I love it. I love it. I love it. Ari McDonald, I think she's the best point guard in the country, leading Arizona to the Sweet 16 in the Pac-12. Shout out to Ari McDonald. And she's a defensive. She's just amazing on defense. I don't even know a word to describe it. This sophomore right here has so much swag. I love watching her play. Brenda Freeze got a good one. Ashley Owosu, she didn't really have a big game the last game. She didn't really need one. Maryland is one of the top scoring teams in this tournament. I think they are the top scoring team in this tournament. They score a lot of points. They remind me of Gonzaga. Gonzaga scores a lot of points in a lot of different ways. The Gonzaga men, I mean. So those two teams, Gonzaga men are a top scoring team in the tournament. And I believe that the Maryland Terrapins women's are a top scoring team in the country. I enjoy watching her play. She plays with a lot of swag. If you guys haven't watched her play, check her out. Sad to see her go, but she put up a heck of a fight. Ryan Howard from Kentucky, 6'2", junior. Yes, I have on a Kentucky t-shirt, thanks to Michael, but I enjoy watching her play. I think she will probably declare for the WNBA draft. I'm not quite sure. They haven't announced that yet. The WNBA draft, I believe, is April 15th. But if she does declare, I will not be surprised. Natasha Mack, they put up a heck of a fight against Stanford. She is a defensive prowess. She scores. She does a lot of things for the OSU Cowgirls. I did cheer for the Cowgirls. Go Pokes. I wanted to see them upset Stanford, who is the number 1 overall seed in the tournament. They played them hard, fought back. She didn't have the best of games, and they were still in the game. So her teammates really helped her out, especially on the defensive end. But she is a disruptor down low, and she can score in the low post. She will be a top 5 pick. She's a JUCO product. Also considered for ESPN.com All-American, Charlie Collier. Charlie Collier will probably be the number 1 overall pick in the WNBA draft. I'm probably more than likely sure that she's already declared. Naz Hillman, she is a beast from Michigan. They upset somebody. I'm going to talk about that. Haley Jones from Stanford. She can just flat out play. And this broke my heart to watch her leave, but she should have her number retired by UCLA. And she gave it everything she had before she fouled out. Michaela Onyeri. Yes, I said it right. Yes, give myself a pat on the back. Once I hear announcers say a name, guys, I can repeat it. But me trying to sound it out and repeat it on my own, it's just not working sometimes. But she will probably be probably a top 10 pick in this WNBA draft, depending on who declares. But she's a senior, so I'm pretty sure she will declare, even though they get that extra year eligibility. But it doesn't make sense for her to come back to UCLA with everything she's accomplished, unless she wants to go and get a ring. And that makes all the difference. All right, now let's check out the AP All-Americans. Now, they're different in a way. Some different, some aren't, but we're going to check them out. So let me go ahead and share that screen. All right, here we go. Oh, that's the men's. What am I doing? I don't want to share the men's. I want the women's. Why didn't they give me the women's? Let me find my women's All-Americans for AP. There we are right there at the bottom. Okay, here we go. Now, they're a little different. The first team is the same as ESPN's. The second team is different because Charlie Collier is on there. Naz Hillman is on there. The other names are the same. The third team, Chelsea Dungy, Arkansas, Natasha Mack from Oklahoma State. Michaela is on there as well. Ashley's on there, but she's on the second team for ESPN. And Kiana Williams, the all-time leading three-point shot maker at Stanford, which is very hard to do. Stanford's had some shooters. She is on there as well. So the third team and the second team are different. The first team is the same for ESPN, but AP has something a little different. Now, this is what I like. I love the Senior Class Award. So here are the finalists for the Senior Class Award. Raina Davis from Tennessee, Dana Evans from Louisville. Look at this, guys. This is what I like to see. I like to see these awards for the Senior Class Award. It'd be announced on during the Final Four. That's such a prestigious award. I would rather win this award than be an All-American, probably, because it just you've played 4 years and you've gave everything you have for 4 years, and to be rewarded for that is amazing. You guys know I have a soft spot for 4-year players anyway. I love me a good 4-year player. I love it. Okay, guys, those are the All-American teams for the women's. Now, let's go to the men's. Now, the men's, they do theirs a little differently. It looks like AP and ESPN's might be the same. It might be the same. When I was looking it up, it looks like it might be the same, but there might be some different names on there. So I'm going to show you ESPN.com's, and then I'm going to show you the APs. All right, here we go. And the AP stands for Associated Press for those of you who don't know. We got Luka Garza from Iowa, Jared Butler from Baylor, Ayu Dosunmu from Illinois, Kay Cunningham from Oklahoma State, and Corey Kispert from Gonzaga. Second team, Drew Timme from Gonzaga, Jalen Suggs from Gonzaga, Evan Mobley, USC, Hunter Dickinson from Michigan, Kofi Cockburn from Illinois. Third team, Davion Mitchell, Baylor, Quentin Grimes, Houston, Herb Jones, Alabama, Cameron Krutwick, Loyola Chicago. I hope I said that right. And Chris Durati from Oregon. Chris Durate from Oregon. I think I said that right. I think that's how the announcer said it. So, guys, these are the first, second, and third teams. Now, this is Associated Press. So let me see if it's the same on the website as well. Let's see if it's the same. It might be the same. Let me check it out. Here we go. It is the same. It is the same. But here's individual All-Americans. So they have individual All-Americans as well. Jeremiah Robinson Earl is on there. Charles Bassey from West Kentucky is on there. Colin Gillespie's on here. He's hurt. Tracy Jackson Davis is on there, and he wasn't on the first one. And everyone else is still the same. So these are individual All-Americans. Also, Kay Cunningham won Freshman of the Year by Sporting News, and Luka Garza won Player of the Year from Sporting News. Now, here we go. All right, this is how it's different for the guys and gals. For the guys and gals. See, the guys showed me all of this. The girls did not show me all of this. So here's Associated Press. We've already been through that. Here's the USBWA. Here's their All-Americans. Let me see if it's anything different. See, there's some different names on here for third team. They're a little different. Here's the NABC. Those are the same. Those are the same. And those seem to be the same. And Sporting News. Those are the same. Those are the same. And those are kind of the same. All right, here's AP Honorable Mention. The nation's leading scorer. He's on there. Scotty Barnes, the coveted freshman from Florida State. He's on there. Let's see. I love watching him play. I wonder if he'll come back. Hopefully he comes back. Let's see. Wish him a speedy recovery. I think Villanova would go well. They have a tough matchup next. We'll talk about it. I love watching Mac McClung play for Texas Tech. Isaiah Livers, prayers up to him. He played a heck of a game. Against Oral Roberts. Let's see. Maseo Teague, he's still in it. Cameron Thomas can score in bunches. He's going to be a very good player. He had a great career at Colorado. All right. So those are the guys for the honorable mention. Now, here are the senior All-Americans. This is a senior class award presented by Lowe's. Of course, the recipient will be the final. They will get it during the Final Four. Let's see. Those are the names there, guys. I won't repeat them because they're all right there. You can see those right there. Okay, guys, that's it for All-American teams. Now we're going to talk about the women's. We're going to talk about some upsets. I'm going to show you guys the bracket, which the bracket I'm going to show you is the people's bracket, but I'm going to talk about the upsets as well. So I'm going to show you the people's bracket, and then we'll talk about upsets. So let me go to the bracket. Boom. All right, here's the bracket, guys. Here's the bracket. Now, we're going to do that. We're going to expand that. So, this is the Alamo bracket. Please be right. Is this the Alamo? This is Alamo over here. So, in the Alamo bracket, Stanford beat Utah Valley. Stanford beat Oklahoma State. They've moved on to Sweet 16. Oklahoma State beat Wake Forest, lost to Stanford. UC Davis lost to Missouri State. Missouri State beat Arkansas. So Missouri State is moving on. No, excuse me. Sorry. They did not beat Arkansas. Wright State beat Arkansas. Sorry, guys. I don't like looking at this bracket because it confuses me. Wright State upset Arkansas. Missouri State pounded Wright State, and they're playing Stanford in the Sweet 16. Oregon beat South Dakota. Georgia beat Drexel. Oregon upsets Georgia 3-6 matchup. Georgia is moving on. Northwestern beat UCF. Louisville beat Marist. Louisville came back after being down, I think, by 17 or 18. Beats Northwestern. Now we have a Louisville and Oregon matchup. So the last four teams in this bracket: Stanford, Missouri State, Oregon, in Louisville. Now, my pick was Louisville to come out of this bracket, so we will see how that holds up. Stanford looks good. Louisville looks good. We will see. All right, let's move to what part of the bracket is? Oh, Amber. I'll stop my screen share, guys. I want to make sure I get the names of these brackets correct. Let's see, let's share that. Okay, that was the Alamo, so I was right. Yes. All right. So pat on the back every time I get something correct. Now let's look at the Riverwalk side of the bracket. Let me put it right there. I'm going to do that. And I'm going to expand this so you guys can see it. All right, the Riverside part of the bracket for the women's, the Riverwalk, side of the bracket. UConn beat High Point. Syracuse beat South Dakota State. UConn beat Syracuse. UConn moves on. Iowa beat Central Michigan. Kentucky beat Idaho State. Iowa upsets Kentucky. Iowa is playing UConn. We get Paige, the bucket getter, Caitlin Clark, the bucket getter. Should be a great matchup. There was an upset on that side of the bracket. Michigan beat Florida Gulf Coast. Tennessee beat Middle Tennessee. Michigan upsets Tennessee. Michigan moves on. Virginia Tech beats Marquette. Baylor beats Jackson State. Baylor beats Virginia Tech. So Baylor moves on. So we have Baylor in Michigan. We have UConn and Iowa. Ooh, nice. Hillman and Miss Smith. Now that's going to be a matchup. I cannot wait. So this top 8 goes as follows. Stanford against Missouri State, the 1 versus the 5. I'm going to show you guys all this in a minute. Then we have Oregon against Louisville. We have UConn against Iowa. We have Baylor against Michigan. So that is the top half of those, of the whole bracket, shall I say. Now, let's get to this bottom part of the bracket. Let's get to the hemisphere and the Mercado. We're going to do the hemisphere first. All right, let me expand that screen. All right, South Carolina beats Mercer. Oregon State beats, am I right? Florida State. I think I'm right. Let me look at this. Because the people's brackets confuse me. So I want to say that I'm right. Guys, I got to check something real quick. Hold on just a second. Make sure that I'm right. I don't want to do that. Oh, no, I don't want to see that matchup. I want to see, nope, Monday, nope. I want to show me, I don't want the Big 12. I want the NCAA tournament. There we go. Thank you very much. Okay, I was right. Oregon State did beat Florida State. I forgot Florida State lost in the first round. So South Carolina will play Oregon State. South Carolina beat Oregon State. They move on. Stephen F. Austin and Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech had a crazy comeback. Shout out to Nell Fortner. She was the ACC Coach of the Year. They beat Stephen F. Austin. West Virginia beats Lehigh. West Virginia and Georgia Tech played each other. Georgia Tech won that game pretty handily, and they move on. So South Carolina and Georgia Tech will be the matchup. Texas beats Bradley. UCLA beats Wyoming. Texas beats UCLA. Texas moves on. Alabama played North Carolina. Alabama beats North Carolina. So Alabama moved on. Maryland played Mount St. Mary. Maryland beats Mount St. Mary. Maryland moves on. Maryland played Alabama, and that was no contest. Maryland moves on. So we have Maryland against Texas, South Carolina against Georgia Tech. A couple of upsets in that bracket as well. So that's the hemisphere side of the bracket. Let's move to the other side of the bracket, where we have the Mercado region. North Carolina A&T played NC State. NC State beats them. They move on. Washington State plays South Florida. South Florida beats Washington State. South Florida moves on. NC State beats South Florida. NC State's in the Sweet 16. Gonzaga played Belmont. Belmont upsets Gonzaga. Belmont moves on. Indiana beats VCU. Indiana moves on. Indiana beats Belmont. So now we have NC State against Indiana. BYU played Rutgers. BYU upsets Rutgers. BYU moves on. Arizona plays Stony Brook. Arizona beats Stony Brook. Arizona plays BYU. Arizona moves on. That was a great game. Iowa State beats Michigan State. They move on. Texas A&M, nail biter against Troy. And they move on. The game of the tournament thus far, Texas A&M and Iowa State. Shout out to you, Jordan Nixon, New York NYC stand up. Jordan Nixon's from New York. She cried in the post-game interview, almost made me cry. And Texas A&M moves on. Yes, she hit the bucket to send them into overtime. She hit the bucket to win the game. Texas A&M and Arizona. Her and Ari McDonald are going to match up. That's going to be good. That's going to be good. That's going to be great. So in this part of the bracket, we got South Carolina against Georgia Tech. In the hemisphere region. And then we have Maryland against Texas. We have NC State against Indiana. And we have Arizona against Texas A&M. I can't wait. I'm going to show you guys this bracket because I have it pulled up on my Twitter account. So here we go, guys. This is what it looks like. We got some people here, 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 and here, and here, and here that numerically are not supposed to be there. That means there were some upsets. Missouri State has played very well against Stanford. That's going to be a great game. All these games are going to be great. My biggest question is, can Texas stop Maryland from scoring over 80 points? Can Texas score with Maryland? Texas put the clamps on UCLA. UCLA made a little run there in the third quarter, made a little run there in the fourth quarter. But Texas really played great defense against UCLA. Can they stop Maryland from scoring 80 points? Can anyone stop Maryland from scoring 80 points? If, as I should say, South Carolina and Maryland match up, that's going to be fun. If Louisville and Stanford match up, that will be fun. Let's see if we get some upsets. If Georgia Tech can upset South Carolina, I hope not, because South Carolina is my pick to win it all. But hey, if it happens, it happens. Let's see if we can get some upsets. What if every game was an upset? If Texas beat Maryland, Georgia Tech beat South Carolina, Oregon beat Louisville, Missouri State beat Stanford, Iowa beat UConn, Michigan beat Baylor, Indiana beat NC State, and Arizona beat Texas A&M. What an Elite Eight that would be. That would be an amazing Elite Eight. It could happen. Will it happen? We don't know. Who knows? But I think that would be very interesting. I'm going to give my picks here at the end of the show. I don't want to spoil it just yet, but here is what the Sweet 16 looks like for the women. All right. Let's check out the men. What have the men been doing? Double-digit seeds have been winning. That's pretty much all I can say about the men's side of the bracket, which happens every single year. I don't know if we've had this many double-digit seeds win in a tournament before, but it happens on the men's side. It takes a women's side 1 or 2 rounds for upsets, even though we did have some double-digit seed upsets, but they ended up getting upset. I mean, they ended up losing in the second round because there are no double-digit seeds in the Sweet 16. But for the men, when double-digit seeds win, boy, do they win. They go on a run. All right. We're going to look at the West and the South. Let me share my screen with you guys. Okay, let me expand my screen. Okay, the West is going to go first. Hold on, this is not how I want to do this. Let me go here because it cuts it off. Let's see. Okay, there we go. I think that might be better. Okay, that's a lot better. All right. Gonzaga beat Norfolk State. Gonzaga moves on. Oklahoma beats Missouri. Oklahoma moves on. Oklahoma gave a great fight against Gonzaga. They were just too much. I got some news to share at the University of Oklahoma as well for the men's and the women's teams. Gonzaga moves on. I'll share that at the end of the show. UCF-SB, which is University of California, Santa Barbara, played Creighton. Creighton moved on. Ohio played Virginia. Ohio moved on. Creighton throttled Ohio. Creighton moved on. So now we have Gonzaga versus Creighton. USC handled Drake. They moved on. Kansas handled Eastern Washington. I thought they were back. Kansas moves on. UCLA put a USC put a thumping on Kansas. USC moves on. Oregon won 1-0 to VCU. That's a small joke because that was a non-contest because of the COVID protocol. Oregon moves on. Iowa beats Grand Canyon. Iowa moves on. Oregon could not stop scoring in the second half against Iowa. Oregon moves on. So we have Gonzaga against Creighton. We have USC against Oregon. Ooh. So Oregon women are number 6 seed, upset a 3 seed. Oregon men, number 6 seed, upset a 3 seed. I love it. I love it. Here we go. The other side of the bracket goes as follows. Baylor handled Hartford. Baylor moves on. Wisconsin handled North Carolina. Wisconsin moves on. Baylor in that defense and knocking down those perimeter shots. Baylor moves on from Wisconsin. Villanova beats Winthrop. Villanova moves on. North Texas beats Purdue. North Texas beats Purdue. Upset. North Texas moves on. Villanova shows why Jay Wright is who he is. Without one of his best players, without his point guard, Villanova moves on. Now we have a Baylor-Villanova matchup. Ooh-wee. Utah State gave Texas Tech all they can handle, but Texas Tech moves on. Colgate had a great first half against Arkansas, fell apart in the second half. Arkansas moves on. Texas Tech and Arkansas. Arkansas wins that battle. Arkansas moved on from that. Florida and Virginia Tech, one of the best games of the men's tournament thus far. Florida moved on. Oral Roberts in Ohio State, we all know what happened with that one. Oral Roberts moves on. Oral Roberts in Florida, that was a great game too. Florida played 2 great games. Oral Roberts moves on. So now we have Arkansas against Oral Roberts. Let's look at the Sweet 16, the top 8. We got Gonzaga against Creighton. We got USC against Oregon. Those are the last 4 in the West. In the South, we got Baylor against Villanova, and we have Arkansas against Ohio State. Those are the other 4 out of the South. So in the West, number 1 seed still intact. Number 2 seed is no longer there. Number 3 seed is no longer there. Number 4 seed is no longer there. Number 5 seed is there. Number 6 seed is still alive. And they are playing the number Iowa, Oregon. Number 6 seed is playing what is USC seeding? Let me see what USC seeding is. Thank you, Connie. I really appreciate it. I think they were the number. Let me see. I could have sworn Oregon men were number 6. They might not have been. Hold on. Let me check my phone. Top events. Thank you. Men's Sunday. Oregon's number 7. Sorry, guys. Oregon's number 7. USC is number 6. So USC is number 6. Oregon is number 7. Sorry, but the Oregon women are number 6 seed. I thought they were both 6 seeds. But at any rate, both teams are in the Sweet 16. Baylor's men's and women's, both teams are in the Sweet 16. All right, let's look at the East and Midwest. Michigan, both men's and women's teams are in the Sweet 16. Let me see if y'all can find anybody else's men's and women's are in the Sweet 16. I think that might be it. Oregon, Baylor. Oregon and Baylor. Men's and women's in the Sweet 16. Michigan. I think that might be it. Yeah, that might be it for men's and women's in the Sweet 16. All right, guys, let's look at this part of the bracket. The East and the Midwest. All right, Michigan beats Texas Southern. They move on. LSU beats St. Bonaventure. They move on. Michigan, LSU, that was a great game. Michigan moves on. Georgetown played Colorado. Georgetown, people picked that 12-5 upset because of the way they played in the Big East tournament, but Colorado got the best of Georgetown. They could not miss from the three-point line. Colorado moves on. Florida State played UNC Greensboro. Florida State moves on. Florida State clamped up Colorado, so we get Michigan and Florida State in the Sweet 16. That's going to be hard for me to pick. BYU was a play-in. No, they weren't. Sorry, UCLA was a play-in team. We had BYU and UCLA. UCLA played in against Michigan State, beat Michigan State. Then they turned around and upset, they upset BYU. That was an upset. UCLA moved on. Abilene Christian in Texas. Guess who won that game, guys? Another upset, Abilene Christian. So we have BYU and Abilene Christian. BYU kept their foot on the gas. We had UCLA and Abilene Christian. Abilene Christian could not keep up with UCLA. UCLA moves on. We had UConn and Maryland. Iona and Alabama. Maryland moved on. They played Alabama. Maryland played Alabama. Let me look at that. Alabama moved on. So we get UCLA and Alabama in that Sweet 16. And we get Florida State and Michigan. All right, in the Midwest. Ooh, this is where it got fun. Illinois handles Drexel. Illinois moves on. Loyola Chicago handled Georgia Tech. Loyola moves on. Sister Jean moved on from Illinois. So Illinois was the first number 1 seed to get knocked out. We got Loyola Chicago in the Sweet 16. Tennessee got thumped by Oregon State. Oregon State moves on. Oklahoma State handled Liberty. They moved on. Oregon State handled Oklahoma State. So we get Oregon State against Loyola Chicago. Syracuse, Buddy Boeheim. Shout out to Buddy Boeheim. He handled San Diego State pretty much by himself. They moved on. West Virginia beat Morehead State. They moved on. Syracuse handled West Virginia. So Syracuse moves on. Clemson and Rutgers. Rutgers handles Clemson. They move on. Houston, Cleveland State. Houston handles Cleveland State. They move on. Houston needed a heck of a game to beat Rutgers, but Houston moves on. So we got Houston against Syracuse. We got Oregon State against Loyola Chicago. Wow, guys, that is an amazing. That in itself is amazing. This is why the men's tournament and the women's tournaments are so great. The upsets. I cannot wait until next year for the women's tournament. I want to see double-digit seeds in the Sweet 16. I bet. I'm praying for it. I'm really begging for it, honestly, in the most humble way possible. Can we please get some double-digit seeds in the Sweet 16? As long as you don't upset my pick, I am perfectly fine with it. I'm just being honest. I don't like when my picks take an L. Things happen. Okay, things happen. Now let's look at some times for these games. Let's look at some times um, for the games. I'm going to share my screen in a minute as soon as I get the times for games. All right, here we go. Let's share this screen. Let me share that with you. We're going to do the women's first. So here's some times for the games. Here we go. Let me click see all on there. Come on. Yes, come on. Come on, internet. Don't let me down. Not in this time of need. All right, here we go. Here's some times. We got Iowa and UConn kicking off on ABC at 12 Central. Michigan and Baylor, ABC right after that. ESPN2, we got Indiana and NC State. This is all on Saturday, guys. This is Saturday's games. They're on ESPN2. Arizona and Texas A&M, ESPN2. I'm glad those games do not interfere with each other. Yes, but I think the men's schedule interferes with it. But it's okay. I have multiple devices. I can work it out. Here we go. Georgia Tech and South Carolina gets the ABC game at noon on Sunday. Missouri State and Stanford get the 2 o'clock game right after that, right after the noon game on ABC. On ESPN, we get Oregon and Louisville at 6, and then we get Texas and Maryland at 8 on ESPN. I love it. I love it, guys. Go check out those games Saturday and Sunday, ABC, ESPN, and ESPN2. All right, let's go to the men's portion. Okay, this is the NIT. Here we go. The NIT is playing right now. Come on, men's. Give me the games. I have it. Come on now. Schedule. Give me the schedule. Thank you. Thank you. All right, we got Oregon State and Loyola Chicago. That's on Saturday at 1:40 on CBS. Villanova and Baylor at 4:15 on CBS. Oral Roberts and Arkansas on TBS at 6:25. Syracuse and Houston at 8:55 on TBS. On Sunday, we got Creighton and Gonzaga on CBS at 1:10. Florida State and Michigan at 4 on CBS. UCLA and Alabama on TBS at 6:15. And Oregon and USC, the battle of the Pac-12. Had 3 Pac-12 teams playing that day. Yep, 3 Pac-12 teams are in action. So a Pac-12 team is guaranteed to make it into the Elite Eight. Shout out to the Pac-12. You get that game at 8:45 on TBS. Whew. Let's pick these games, shall we? Let's pick these games. I'm gonna do the women's first. I'm doing the women's first, and I'm really afraid to pick these games because I really don't want my pick to lose. I'm so competitive. We got Iowa versus UConn. Oh boy, I'm going to go UConn. I'm going to pick UConn, but I think that will be a great game between 2 great freshmen. Gino Auriemma is back on the sideline after being quarantined. So I'm going to pick UConn by a hair. Michigan and Baylor. Alyssa Smith, Nas Hillman going at it. I'm going to go with Baylor. So that Elite Eight matchup of UConn and Baylor, I think, holds true. Indiana and NC State. I'm going to go with the upset here. I'm going to go with Indiana. Now, if you guys watched Count the Bucket, or not Count the Bucket, excuse me. If you guys watched me and Nick's show that we did for the women's bracket, I did pick NC State. I'm going to change that. I'm going to go with Indiana. I'm going to pick Indiana to upset NC State. Arizona, Texas A&M. I'm going to pick another upset. I'm going to pick Arizona over Texas A&M. So now the next matchup I'll get will be Indiana and Arizona will be my Elite Eight matchup. All right, guys, let's go to Sunday's matchup. Georgia Tech, South Carolina. I'm going with Don Staley all the way on that one. Missouri State and Stanford. I'm going to pick the upset. I'm going Missouri State beating Stanford. Oregon against Louisville. I'm going with Louisville. Texas against Maryland. I'm going to go with Maryland because I don't think Texas clamped up UCLA, but I don't think they can stop them from scoring. So my Elite Eight matchups go South Carolina against Maryland. Yes, okay, I did that right. South Carolina against Maryland. Missouri State against Louisville. Since there will not be a show next week, I got to pick the upset I got to pick my Final Four picks. We're going to go back to Saturday. Hope I did that right. Saturday. Yes, okay. So, UConn and Baylor. Oh, goodness. I picked UConn by a hair. That's going to be my toss-up game. So, I can't choose. I know I picked UConn by a hair, I know, but I cannot choose that UConn-Baylor matchup. That's my toss-up. But darn it, Amber, it's ladies first. You got to choose. I'm going to go with UConn. Indiana and Arizona. I'm going to go Arizona. So my two teams, half my Final Four would be UConn and Arizona. All right, got to have some upsets. We've got South Carolina versus Maryland. This will probably be the toughest game for me to pick, but I'm rolling with them. I'm rolling with Don Staley. I think she has the defense for Maryland. I'm going South Carolina. Then we're going Missouri State and Louisville. I think I'm going to roll with Louisville. So I got South Carolina and Louisville in the Final Four. So Amber's Final Four, South Carolina, Louisville. And also she has UConn and Arizona. So that's Amber's Final Four for the women. Let's check out how she feels about the men's. I'm talking about myself in third person. What has my life come to? All right. Here we go. Oregon State versus Loyola Chicago. I'm going to go Loyola Chicago. I'm riding Sister Jean. I'm going to ride with Sister Jean. Villanova and Baylor, I'm going to go Baylor. And that's going to be tough. That's going to be a great matchup. Scott Drew and Jay Wright, great matchup. I'm going to go Baylor. Oral Roberts and Arkansas. This is my upset pick. I'm going Oral Roberts. I'm going Oral Roberts to the Elite Eight. Syracuse and Houston. Love me some Kelvin Sampson. Hopefully Jerome's hip is okay. I'm going to roll with Houston. So I got Oral Roberts against Houston, and I got Baylor against Loyola. All right. Now, Creighton against Gonzaga. I'm going to go Gonzaga. Florida State against Michigan. This is kind of like Baylor, UConn, and kind of like South Carolina and Maryland. In Maryland, I don't really know. I love you some Leonard Hamilton. I love you some Juwan Howard. I'm going to go Michigan. I got to choose. I'm going to go Michigan. UCLA and Alabama. I'm picking the upset here. I'm going UCLA. Oregon, USC. I want to see the freshman Evan Mobley in the Elite Eight. I'm going to go USC. So I got UCLA versus USC, a Pac-12 matchup in the Elite Eight. And then I got Michigan against – no, hold on. Wait a minute. I did that wrong. I got USC against Gonzaga. And then I got Michigan against UCLA. All right. Now let's go back to Saturday. Let's pick Final Four. So we got Loyola Chicago against Oral Roberts. No, we got Loyola Chicago against Houston. Loyola Chicago against Houston. I'm going to go Houston to the Final Four. I'm going to pick Houston in that. Yes. And then we got Baylor against Oral Roberts. I'm taking Baylor. So I got Baylor and Houston in my Final Four. Now, we got Gonzaga against USC. Okay, yeah, that's right. And then we have UCLA against Michigan. I'm going to go Michigan moves on in my final four, and I'm going to pick Gonzaga to move on. So I got Gonzaga, Michigan, and then I have Baylor and Houston. Those are my final four teams, guys. Whew. All right. That was fun. That was nerve-wracking, but fun. And if my picks don't pan out, hey, they just don't pan out. I picked some upsets because I think that will happen. We'll see how it goes. I'm crossing my fingers because I don't like when I'm wrong. I really don't. I said it a lot on Ladies First, but it's true. Final four for the men's happens on, let's see, April 3rd will be the Final Four for the men's. That happens on April the 3rd. Now the Final Four for the women's happens on that's the national championship. On Friday, April 2nd. So April 2nd, Final Four for the women. April 3rd, Final Four for the men. The national championship for the women will be Sunday. The national championship for the men will be that Monday. Yes, yes. Whew. All right, guys. Those are my picks. Like it, love it. That's who I'm picking. That's who I'm rolling with. Hopefully, I get the upsets that I want. I really hope for that. I really pray for that because I would love to see, especially in the women's game, I love to see upsets. As long as South Carolina doesn't lose, I don't really care in the women's tournament who gets upset, as long as it's not South Carolina. Whew. This has been fun. It's been great. Like I said, you guys will not see me next week. I'm not picking a national champion. I'm not doing that because the way that my mind and my emotions are set up, I'm just not emotionally ready for that. So when I come back, not next week, the week after next, there will be a national champion, men's and women's. There'll be some NBA news. I'll talk about the WNBA draft. Hopefully we'll see who declared. The men's side, guys are going to start declaring as well. And a transfer portal. NBA, I'll talk a little NBA as well. So there's a lot going on. But before I end the show tonight, I want to say thank you to Coach Cole and Sherry Cole. If you don't know, she retired last week, announced her retirement after 25 years, University of Oklahoma. Shout out to you, Coach Cole. And thank you to Lon Kruger. He just announced his retirement today after 10 years at the University of Oklahoma. Both of those coaches did amazing things with those programs. Both coaches went to Final Fours. Both coaches exceeded expectations of the program. I am so proud to be a graduate of the University of Oklahoma. I've been watching Coach Cole coach since I was a kid. I've been watching Lon Kruger for a while as well. And I just want to say thank you. So the University of Oklahoma is looking for 2 brand new basketball coaches, for Lon Kruger for the men's and Sherry Cole for the women's. So thank you, coaches, so much for everything you've done for the program. Coach Cole been there since the 90s. She was there in the 90s. Women's college basketball wasn't very popular yet. It kind of got popular in the 2000s. And things started to take off. And then Lon Kruger came in, of course, in 2010. He did a heck of a job there at the University of Oklahoma. I cannot thank him enough for what he has done. Turn that men's program back around, especially after everything that happened with Kelvin Sampson. And now Kelvin Sampson has gotten another chance at the University of Houston. That's why I cheer for them so hard, because I'm a huge Kelvin Sampson fan. But Lon Kruger and Coach Cole, we wish you the best in your next lives, because there is more to life than basketball. There is more to life than basketball. So thank you guys so much for what you've done for the Sooners. That is the end of Ladies First. Sponsors time. Sponsors time. I'm sorry, guys. I almost forgot to give my sponsors some love. So let's do this. Join the Patreon. Patreon.com/unwrapsports. $1 a month, you're a fan. $5 a month, you're part of the family with all these perks. $10 a month, you are VIP with all these perks. Plus a $10 gift card from Amazon. I forgot to say that. And the signed jersey as well. It'll be a signed jersey this month. It's the Bears jersey. I got to rush through these real quick because Backstop Banter is wanting to go on. All right. And then we have mybookie.ag. Mybookie.ag. Use the code USN100 to double your first deposit. All these things you can bet on, guys. Go bet. The NBA is back, so you guys can go bet on some NBA games as well. All right. And then we have teespring.com. teespring.com/stores/unwrapped. You got OG gear, new gear, LeBron gear, live lineup gear. Everything that you need here is in the Teespring store shop. Guys, go support the Unwrapped Sports Network. We really appreciate it. Also, sore, achy muscles. Sore, achy muscles, get you some CBD cream. Be careful with the dosage. Warm and cool therapy. Check out rxhemp.com. Use the code rxhemp/USN to get 10% off your entire order. These are tricky, guys. Be careful how much you put on. All natural products, celebrity believers. Go check that out, guys. All right. You will not see me next week for Ladies First. I'll be back the following week, so we will have a champion. You will not see me on Count the Bucket this weekend or next weekend. This weekend will be Michael and Nick. I'm pretty sure they're going to talk about free agency. Next weekend will be probably Michael and somebody else. It might be Nick again. They're going to talk about NBA news, and they might talk about the NCAA as well. But the NBA free agency is enough for one show. Let me tell you, a lot happened today. I wasn't able to tap into that today because I dedicate this month to college basketball. So, want to know about NBA news? Count the Bucket Saturday. They're going on. And then they're going on again next Saturday. I'll be back the following. So I will miss 2 Saturdays in a row. Be back the following Saturday. Ladies First will not be next week. I'll be back the following week. Until then, guys, stay safe and be blessed. And I'll see you guys in 2 weeks.